Strumming.
Well, okay, so this is the last of my hit lists, and this is what one of the other things I want to talk about is, for the last few months, you've been very gracious and entertaining my tonight's challenges, or what I'd like some help with right now, and that's appreciated. But I think going forward, what I would really like to do is to turn the time over to you and let you set the agenda and just push and pull and drag me through what I haven't even known was there, or was afraid to confront, or just slocking through, and maybe some of it we'll have in quick order, and it'll be okay.
Yeah.
So homework and stuff like that starts. Well, the instructor is telling the student what needs to be done.
Yeah.
To get.
And since you brought up strumming, there's a couple things that there may be like 3 or 4 songs that I'd say you should go learn.
Okay.
You know, and but the ones that mostly pop to my mind, and I don't know how comfortable we are with some of these tunes already, but they're things like "Wish You Were Here," the Pink Floyd song.
Mm-hmm.
You know, picking out that little bass note that happens in the melody, and a very similar thing is Neil Young's "My My Hey Hey." Same type of thing of combining a little scale or bass notes, incorporating that into a strum. Before that is just some normal, just like strumming 101. It's like that I think you have a good kind of feel for that without maybe being able to identify it sometimes and say, well, here's what makes it sound like Comfortably Numb, and here's what makes it sound like Pinball Wizard, or whatever, you know.
And it's all it's 40 years plus of just doing it because that's what it feels like is right. I couldn't explain to you if it is,
yeah,
or how to change it. And I've had a couple of encounters at band practice where the drummer would say, "No, Blue, it's not that. It's not what you're doing. It's this other thing."
Yeah.
And then I've watched any number of your tapes, whatever you call them, the thing, and there seems to be a routine pattern about down, up, down, up, down, up, or not.
Right.
And heck, I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't know if I'm doing that.
Yeah. Okay.
So
if you played Brown Eyed Girl, I consider that there are about 4 basic strumming like fundamentals or strumming patterns. I hate to call them patterns because I really like to think of strumming as it's just you keep your hand moving and you play the strings whenever it's right to. Mm-hmm. You know, but that's not particularly good guidance at most stages. You know, but if you what would you do if I say we're going to play Brown Eyed Girl? Perfect. Okay, now tell me about that strum. Well, okay, first of all, are you keeping your hand moving like it's a foot or a metronome?
Not really thinking about either.
Okay, you are. So this is good. In other words, the technique, you've heard me harp on that one of the most important things about strumming is that this never stops this. You don't do this. Okay? This motion is like a metronome or a pendulum. Mm-hmm. It is always there, and it gives you, in a normal measure, what time would that song be in?
Thinking I'd say 4/4. But
well, and if you start tapping, like and thinking,
yeah,
you feel 4, that? 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And right now, your foot is going down 4 times in a measure. Your hand is going down 4 times in that measure, right in sync with your foot. But you're not doing this, which would just be hitting the beats, just like your foot.
Right.
Okay. That would have been hitting what kind of notes would we call those notes?
Quarter notes.
Quarter notes. That's it. So that's like one thing you can do in a strumming pattern. There would be songs that you want to strum that way sometimes, where you just hit 4 quarter notes. You probably wouldn't do that for very long, but in a particular measure, you might want to have that for a little break or an accent or something like that. So the idea is that your hand is always going down on the beats. And that means that it also is coming back up between the beats on the ands when your foot's coming up. So your foot's doing this, and your hand's doing this, and your head's doing this, and that's what's going on. You're keeping this constant motion of down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4.